back to Headbangers Ball, coming to you from Los Angeles, the rock and roll capital of the world. And we've got Beverly Boulevard over our shoulder there, and I'm pleased to say that Warrant have managed to find their way through the traffic to be with us today.
Yo! We're here! We didn't drive, but we're here.
We didn't drive, we were driven.
Now, you've got great things happening for you at the moment with the new record, Cherry Pie, but I'd like to start off by asking you, you must obviously have been under quite some pressure to follow up on the first record, but you didn't just go the normal route and just write another dirty, rotten, stinking, filthy rich. You kind of had more creative approach this time.
Yeah, well, we had I think a lot of people expected, we kind of got stereotyped off the last record because the biggest song off the record was Heaven, which was a ballad. And I don't think the record in general really showed what Warrant's like live. We're a much heavier band than the first record. So we went into the studio a little more focused this time as far as wanting this new record to sound more like we do live, a little more balls out, something that the guys could get into, because that's what we are. We're a much heavier band than you get off Dirty Rotten Filthy Stinking Rich. And that mixed with the fact that I think a lot of people expected us to come out with an album full of heavens, because Heaven was so successful. Well, why don't you put out 10 and then you'll be a millionaire or whatever? But that's not what we wanted to do. We wanted to do things, go a little bit different direction.
This ain't the New Kids on the Block.
No, just go, sing about some, write lyrics, do different topics. Branch out a little bit from the last record.
A little more diverse than the last record.
Much more diverse, I think. It's a lot rootsier, a lot of different instruments, experimented a little bit. We'll see if it works. I hope it does.
Actually, if I could just pinpoint a couple of songs on the record. There's a track called Song and Dance Man, which is about looking for a kind of purpose in life. Wow.
Song and Dance Man.
You've got it tattooed there.
Like that.
Now, is that a direct reflection of you yourself looking beyond money and success?
I think so. I think that's a song that I really wanted to write, because once you get past money and sex, I think more than money and success, money and sex get old after a while. I mean, anything gets old after a while, and once the novelty of that wears off, you kind of have to still decide what your real purpose in life is. I mean, there has to be a better reason to be here than to get drunk and get laid every night. Although that's a pretty damn good reason.
That's a tour purpose.
So really, your idea of success has changed now that you've actually got so far down the line yourself.
Yeah, basically what we want to do is we just want to rock. We want to play live. We're a live band. That's what we get off on is that instant gratification of the crowd, getting into it, forgetting about your day job.
Yeah, and Joey wants to be able to wear sunglasses like that and get away with it. Dude, I don't even think Elton could get away with wearing sunglasses like that. Stevie could.
Now, there's another track on the album which I felt was kind of out of keeping with the image of girls and parties and so on, and that's the song I Saw Red, which is basically about the man that goes into the bedroom and sees his wife or girlfriend with another
someone
man.
Else, yeah.
Why did you write that song? It's very personal.
Yeah, it is. It's that's another song I can relate to. I don't know, I thought that was something that a lot of people can relate to. I'm sure a lot of people have gone through that. Maybe not actually as extreme as walking in and seeing it, but to be put aside for somebody else is a pretty heavy feeling. But it's been said a million times, you left me for someone else, so we had to come up with a different way to say it, a fresher way to say it, so that it would be interesting to people. I think I Saw Red is a neat term, or a neat way to put it, a neat turn of the phrase.
Now, Janie, you write most of the songs and the music and the lyrics. I mean, does that not kind of make you a one-man band in some regard?
No, I don't think so at all, because I know what the songs sound like. When I'm done writing a song, I look at it and I know what it sounds like, and then after the band comes in and plays the song, it sounds a lot different. It becomes Warrant once Warrant plays it.
So they all obviously
It's
contribute.
Janie Lane when I write it, but it's not Warrant until Warrant plays it.
Okay, well, we're going to see some Warrant right now. This is from the first album, and it's the hit that really got you going in the first place, and it's Down Boys.
Yeah. Oh, I got that too.
All right, we're still rocking away here with Warrant in Los Angeles. Now, just before we saw the last video, we were talking about specific songs on the new record, and that brings us nicely onto the subject of censorship, which seems to be the main issue at the Foundations Forum this year.
Main issue with music this year.
Absolutely, yes. And you've actually got a song on the record called Ode to Tipper Gore, and that's kind of a little bit uncharacteristic for you, but you're making a statement there. Could you tell us what you're saying?
Yeah, we've always tried to avoid being a political band or a band with deep, profound statements in the songs, but this is kind of something that you can't ignore. I think it's gotten a bit out of hand. Actually, it's gotten really ridiculous here in the States with the PMRC and their cohorts, just really right-wing conservative fanatics. And I don't know. We excerpted profane words from live shows, mostly the word fuck, like 28 times, and just ran it in a string about 54 seconds long, and it's kind of like doing that to the PMRC. It's a statement that the band made. We did it in a fun way, tongue-in-cheek. It's fun for the people who buy the record, but it's definitely a statement as far as we believe in the First Amendment, freedom of speech. If you have to say that, if you have to use that word to get your point across, I mean, we have a responsibility to the people that listen to our record to say things in terms that they can relate to. And I'm not going to change that because some political figure or an officer or a parent is going to get upset, because they're not buying the fucking record. They're not the ones who are listening to our music anyways. So we felt irresponsible. We saw a lot of rap artists. Rap isn't really, my cup of tea, but I respect them for standing up for their rights. They're rebelling against the system, and to me that's rock and roll. So that's cool. And we didn't see a lot of rock bands, especially a lot of young rock bands, really being bold or really coming out and saying that we don't agree with this and we're not going to stand for it. So we as a band just kind of said, let's do it. Let's put it on the record, and if record stores don't want to carry the record, fuck them.
If they can't take a joke.
Right. Our fans, I really have a lot of faith that our fans will find the record somewhere. If they can't get it in this store because this store won't carry it, they'll go somewhere else and get it.
But overall, Warrant is about being a fun party band, about having a good time, right?
Right, and these people are trying to take the fun out of rock and roll. And I'm not going to stand around and watch it. And they're not going to dictate to me how to talk to the people that come out and see us, or how to write lyrics to a song. I mean, that's our world, and they have no business in it.
Now, over the kind of period, you've done something like 282 live shows, haven't you? Touring.
You can tell it's.
So
our last tour, 282 shows.
Now, really, you could kind of rest on your laurels and make a great video for MTV, and maybe never have to go out and play again. But obviously,
that's what we're all about. Is playing live. We like I was saying before, the instant gratification. We just like people to come out and forget about all their worries and their troubles, at least for an hour, and just have a good time.
Warrant's a live band. I mean, we don't use tapes. We don't sequence anything. We don't sample anything. We play live. We're a live band. We like to play live. And making a record is fun, and it's cool. And making videos, that's not fun at all. I mean, I don't really like making it, but I like them when they're done and you get to see it. But I mean, they're a pain in the ass.
Those are like three separate, different mediums: live, recording, and.
But live is my favorite. I think it's everybody's favorite in bands. And there's no way that we're not going to tour. I mean, I hope this tour is longer than the last one.
We make records so we can tour.
Exactly. You make a record so that you can tour.
how do you find the discipline of the studio after you've been on the road for so long?
It's come a lot easier.
Yeah.
This time around, making the record seemed to go a lot easier. We knew our parts better.
A little more focused. You know what you want to do. You know what you were unhappy with on the last record, and you go in and you try and improve on that. With every record, you try to define what Warrant is a little more, because I know some of my favorite bands, you listen to their first record, second record, third record, by the time you get to the fourth or fifth record, you're going, I really get this now, I know what this band's about, I know them before they get halfway through the song, I know who it is without having to tell me who it is. That, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty rewarding to take a blank piece of tape and fill it up with a song that wouldn't be there if you wouldn't have walked in the studio. It's pretty cool.
Now you've also toured with quite a variety of bands that don't necessarily match you, like Queensryche and Rat, but now you're going to be going out on the road with Poison, or you are on the road with Poison. That's obviously a way of kind of breaking down people trying to categorise you as well.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope that we work with all different kinds of bands. I think we work better with the heavier bands than with the lighter bands, but just because we're real heavy live. But you know, we'll play with the lighter band. I mean, I don't have a problem with that as long as they, you know, let us turn it up.
Okay.
As long as it goes to 11,
well, we're gonna turn it up right now with some more music. Now, I'd like to ask you an obvious question. Why haven't you come on tour to Europe?
It's his fault.
We're gonna blame.
We haven't had time. We swear to God, we haven't.
No, you know, we wanted to come over and play, and it just never worked out because every time we planned to come over to Europe and play, something would happen here, like we get an offer from Motley Crue or Rat or Queensryche or whoever to tour here, so it never worked out. Every time we would be going over to play, something would happen and we'd end up staying here and touring. We did go over for about 3 weeks and do a promotional tour, but promotional tours not happening. You know, we want to play Europe, so this year definitely we'll get over and play. I don't know who with, but
hopefully within the next 6 months.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, it must be
Well,
quite...
no, we're gonna play Europe. I don't know who we're gonna play with. I mean, even if we got to go over and play by ourselves in little clubs, I mean, we're gonna rock out there. But I don't really know exactly when right now. We need to get to Japan and Australia too, but Europe's like #1 on the list.
Was it disappointing for you not to be able to tour with the first record?
Oh yeah.
We wanted to do everything.
European crowds rock. European crowds, I mean, we've heard so many cool stories about what the audiences are like over there. We want to get over and play for them. And, you know, we're definitely in a position though this year where we can make it happen ourselves. Last year we were kind of manipulated around, but this year we have a little more say in what happens with our lives.
Okay, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about Los Angeles itself. Why is it such a good training ground for up-and-coming rock bands?
Because it can be weird and nobody gives a fuck.
Beep.
I don't. The labels are here, the lawyers are here, the management companies are here. It's kind of all in one central area. And there's a lot of clubs here. There's an original club scene here, which there isn't in a lot of other parts of America.
Every night of the week you can go out and see, you know, 5 or 6 bands per club.
All different.
Play
types of
all
music.
original music. And the clubs, you know, it's like this little area where there's, you know, 5 or 6 clubs where you can go play, and you never know who's going to be in the crowd. I mean, somebody from Epic or CBS or whatever, you know, you never know who's going to be in the crowd.
Does that not mean that the audiences are very reserved? They don't kind of react so much?
I think Los Angeles is a really tough crowd, mostly because they've seen it all. That was my mic. Actually, it was something I ate earlier. No, it's really the crowds here have kind of seen it all. You know, they've seen all the rock bands come up from, you know, the Doors, Van Halen, Motley Crue. You know, they've seen it about as outrageous as it can get. So if you can get a reaction out of a Los Angeles crowd, which is something you have to learn to do when you come here and play, if you can get in their face enough and prove to them that you're for real and you're not up there acting, and you can get a reaction, it bodes well for wherever else you're going to play in the world.
So that gave you a very good education when you were doing your stint there?
I think so. I mean, we played in quite a few different places, and I haven't run into a more difficult crowd to get motivated than Los Angeles.
Okay, well, it's nearly time for us to go. I just wondered if there was any message that you'd like to give to your fans in Europe.
Wear rubber.
Where to?
Where to?
Okay, well, thank you very much for joining us on Headbangers 4. I want to wish you all the best with the new record. Coming up after the break, your guess is as good as mine. I have a feeling that we might be meeting up with Lemmy from Motorhead, but you'll have to...
Dude, we jammed with Lemmy. We jammed with Lemmy the other night.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Love me like a
He was playing bass
reptile.
and I was playing drums. You really should have seen it.
Sounds
Sam
brilliant.
Kinison was singing. if you can call it a single.
Okay, so you'll have to join us after the break to see what happens next on this special Headbangers Ball.
The Ace of Spades!